here we are. We're exiting Skye, and we wanted to go ahead and take some time now that we're about a third of the way through our trip to just kind of do a little live update. We tried to do some of one yesterday out in front of the Viewfield House, the lovely bed and breakfast we were at here in Skye in Portree. But we had a lot of ninjas to fight.
Ninjas, yes. The
word that Amy made up that is halfway between midges, which are the little flies that live here, and ninjas who are out to kill you. We did a little test drive of this conversational viewpoint of the GoPro. Yes. And we talked a little bit about what your expectations were for the trip, and your expectations were that you wanted to see distilleries, which we have seen 3 of so far.
Castles,
which we have only seen 1 of so far, but we're on our way to see another. And beautiful scenery, yes, which we've seen a lot of. Yes,
by far the most thing that we've seen.
Yeah, and assuming that the time-lapse video has mostly worked out, cool, you will see lots of that in super high speed, as well as lots of photos and stuff like that. There will be some of our friends who will probably never want to hear about Scotland again, and some of our friends who will hopefully wish to hire us as tour guides for their trips.
I keep referring to this as the sampler platter.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff.
Because there's everywhere we go, I keep thinking, wow, like, why are we leaving so soon? There's so much more to do here, you know? Yeah. And so, so we're going to need to come back, I think, at some point and do deeper delves into some of the other stuff. Like, we should spend more time on Isla, certainly.
Yes. We missed one of the distilleries that I would have really liked to visit, and, oh my gosh, the food and the scenery and the driving and the bunnies.
Yeah.
And all sorts of stuff. Skye is really interesting today. It's very cloudy. We've had a lot of time without much in the way of clouds. We've had 1 rainy day so far in a little over a week. And today is very cloudy, and it's really neat because all of the mountains here in Skye, not all of them, but a lot of them are, their heads are in the clouds. And I have no idea, because I can't see behind me, how much of that you guys are getting to see, but I hope you get to see some of it because it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it looks neat back there if people can see that. I don't know.
Yeah, they can see
if the video can see out the back window, then you're seeing some of that where like the clouds are just sort of sitting on. I said that it was a chilly day and the mountains are wearing their sweaters.
Yes. So far what we've done is we flew into Glasgow and we spent a couple of days there, and kind of got our land legs after heading down and having 3 flights, only one of which had to get sort of rescheduled and rebooked and stuff like that, which made
lost our luggage.
Our luggage got lost, yes. Hopefully for the only time this trip. There's a bagpiper
on the side
of the road. I don't know if you guys will be able to see him.
Like in full dress and everything. Yeah. Ooh, pretty waterfall.
And there's a waterfall that will be showing up behind us, hopefully, that you'll be able to see as well.
That looks really cool.
But yeah, so we were there and we did a little bit of just kind of getting our land legs and eating. We ate at all 3 of the places that I had really hoped to eat at, that I remembered being great from before. So that was Cafe Gandolfi, and we also ate at their sister restaurant, Gandolfi Fish.
I think that was my favorite, because I can't, seriously, like we may have to eat there again when we go back to Glasgow before we leave.
Well, we promised them that we would hit Gandolfi Bar as well, and so we could eat at Gandolfi Fish and then go up for a pint after.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, I just am like, I want that salmon Wellington again.
Yeah.
It was exactly.
I clearly have to learn how to make it.
It was exactly what it sounded like, what it sounds like. It's like a fillet of salmon, but cooked like beef Wellington style with like the puff pastry around it and everything. Oh, so good.
Yeah. Rob.
So good.
So we ate at both of those locations, and then we ate at Wagamama's, which is a noodle house. It's not actually Glasgow based, it's a chain, but they do some really good noodles, and I must say that while it was quite good, it was not the madness that I remembered. So I don't know if they've gone down or if my tastes have changed or whatever, but it was good.
Back to follow, I think.
And then we also had some lovely Indian food at a place called Kama Sutra. interesting decoration.
Naughty carvings on the wall.
But it was like, it alternated between naughty carvings in the wall for decoration and just really funky, nifty stuff. I mean, their food was quite good. I have forgotten the name of my dish again.
It starts with a P. It's Prina, I don't remember.
Priya Petnaik. No.
It was something, it had a P and an E sound in it.
Yeah.
So
it was lovely. It was sort of like a korma, only spicy. So it was really lovely, and
I had the chicken tikka masala because that's my favorite thing. I love it. It's
the meal by which you judge Indian restaurants too.
Kind of, yeah.
You kind of go into it and then you have that.
Yeah.
It's like
sort
if
of
you
like
want
chicken salad at a deli,
or pepperoni pizza at a pizza place.
Yeah,
you start with that, and then you figure out, or a latte at a coffee shop. And if they do brilliant work with their espresso, then maybe you go for something that's a little bit more espresso.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but it's my favorite, and I love it. So I just eat it all the time because I'm like, I don't want to not have it.
And then we had the samosas were lovely and came with some chickpeas that I wish I knew how they were done because I'd like to be able to do chickpeas like that.
Oh yeah. Nice chana masala.
And then we took a day and we drove up to Loch Lomond where we took a little boat tour and I got sunburned.
Chuck got sunburned on his head.
Yeah,
which was bizarre.
Not a Scottish thing. And then we drove up to Glencoe. Ooh, they got a dark brown sheep over there. It was really pretty. I went up to Glencoe and saw the majestic mountains and took the obligatory stop at the ridiculous Green Welly stop at the base of Glencoe.
It really was quite ridiculous. It was like, you weren't wrong. Like,
I mean, it's just like a silly touristy thing, and they embrace it. You know, they have, happy green wellies. Which, for our American friends that don't already know, are those ridiculous Irish rain boots that we used to wear as kids.
Big rubbery things. Yeah.
And then the next day we headed out to capture the ferry to Isla, which is fantastic.
Captured it. We captured the ferry?
I guess we caught it.
Yeah, we got on it.
Yes. We mounted the ferry to Isla. And then
which was also really fun. It was kind of impressive that we walked onto the ferry, and I'm expecting kind of a dingy boat and with not a lot of seating.
And where we parked the vehicles was kind of dingy because let's face it,
it's a car park in a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a cruise ship on the inside.
It was really amazing. There was all sorts of.
There was a full bar and they had a bunch of TVs showing the Olympics and stuff, and like a lounge area, and then they had a quiet lounge.
The food was surprisingly good.
Yeah, we had a giant thing of fried. Was it cod or hake or?
It was cod or haddock. I don't remember which.
Yeah.
Cod.
Anyway, it was fish and chips, but it was humongous. It was like.
Yeah, we saw it and it was like, okay, we'll get one of those and split it and then not eat again for a month.
Yeah, and that was seriously all we needed. We did not need any more than that, and except for the ice cream. I ate the ice cream.
We did get some toffee flavored ice cream. I think
it was like caramel fudge.
Caramel fudge,
is what they called it. It was delicious.
Yeah.
I'm eating really naughty. We have quite the supply here of sweets. We have decided that we need an unending supply of sweetie snacks, I guess. And
we
also,
have nuts too.
Paul and Storm are correct. Jaffa cakes are where it's at.
They are
good.
Amazing and naughty and.
Would you like a Jaffa cake?
No. Surely not. So yes, we have stocked up on that stuff.
Yes.
So we went to Isla on this, floating casino, and we got off the ship and we did a terrible job of figuring out where we were going. But we did eventually find the little tiny itty bitty road that went off to.
We didn't do that badly. It's not that big enough island to do that badly. We didn't do that badly.
Okay. We got to this little tiny single track road to get to Boonhaven, which was our first distillery tour. It's your first whiskey distillery tour, right? I mean, you toured. So we toured Boonhaven, and they gave us, the basic 1 hour distillery tour.
Which was lovely. It was very cool.
Yeah. we sampled a bunch of their peated whiskeys, which are sort of the specialty whiskeys that they have now. And then
which apparently is only like 10% of what Bunnahabhain does.
Yeah.
They don't do peated whiskeys, and so like, which kind of explains why they haven't traditionally been one of my favorite Islay whiskeys.
Yeah.
Because I like the peat.
And then we left. When we left, we were stopped by a rogue bunny that did not want us to.
It's a big fat bunny.
Yeah, he was just sitting in the middle of the single track road, staring at us. And then when he finally did start moving, he hopped kind of straight away from us, so we couldn't go faster than bunny speed for a good. It wasn't very long, 10-15 seconds, but you know, that's wonderful in, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening time, which is what we were in at the time.
Yes.
We got checked into the Bowmore house with Andrew and Allison. Man, that place was fantastic.
Yeah, that's by far the best place I think I've ever stayed. Like,
yeah.
It was
hospitality-wise,
comfortable,
it outshone
it was clean,
everything. Yeah.
They were super friendly, and like, you know, he greeted us with a dram of whiskey, and you know,
we pulled into the parking lot and he was there. And
yeah,
and
I didn't even get out of the car good before Andrew came out and said hiya, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you know, set us up with a dram of whiskey and made us reservations for dinner. Carried our bag in. You know, just it was just amazing. And so we went out for dinner that night, which was, on any other trip we would talk about how amazing it was. It's just not particularly outstanding compared to some of the other food we've had.
I thought it was better than the following night's food.
Yes,
yeah. Because I was not impressed with the Harbor Inn, but the Lochside was. I had the lamb shank, and so it was awesome. Spectacular. It was really good. And I'm on a tour of sticky toffee pudding.
Yes, so we have the sticky toffee pudding, and this is a thing that I will be making at home, and that'll be awesome. Yes. Next day, we had breakfast. I must say, the one thing that makes me a little bit angry about Andrew is that he is the only person on the planet that I have met that makes better scrambled eggs than me, and I'm gonna learn. I now know that the mark has been set higher, and I must.
They got the secret from him too. So.
Yeah, surpass it. Yes. And we went out to Lagavulin for a warehouse tasting.
Which was great. We really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and it was literally just tastings from single barrels. So we kind of went back and forth between sherry casks and bourbon casks. We
got to taste a 34-year-old Lagavulin.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was eye-crossingly wonderful.
And of course, it costs like 2,500 pounds or something.
I don't think they actually sell that one. I think
don't
that
sell
one.
it.
Yeah, they have currently a 30-some-odd-year expression. They're about to do their second 25-year-old, but it's going to be right after we leave. We're going to have to see if we can figure out how to get that. But it was amazing, and we basically just sat down there with their primary taster, who was very
bombastic,
yes.
I think is the right word to describe him. He was like short little guy, very, very Scottish, and very loud.
People who ask stupid questions
got stupid answers. They are not, they got
if you had paid attention to what I said before, you would know.
Which is kind of...
No, we don't use the word blend. We marry the casks.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. He was like, no, blended is a bad word. You say that word again, I'll not serve you anymore.
Yeah, it was very funny.
Which is kind of a little bit unfair because they were from Israel, so they were
having a hard time.
They did not speak English, and for those of us even who do speak English, like American English, sometimes have a hard time understanding Scottish people.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, and then I had I had all of my samples put into little to-go bottles, which I still have with me, and just had little tiny sips of Amy's.
Wait, do we have them where
they're
behind you? Okay.
They're under my bottle.
It's a little. It looks like, you know, the little travel things that you can get at the drugstore to take with you on the plane.
I'm sure
that's got like one of the little plastic zipper pouches and all the little bottles. That's what it is. Only the little bottles are glass and not plastic.
And they are filled with...
And they're filled with whiskey and not mouthwash.
Yes.
So.
And sorry, everyone, there's not enough for me to share, so you're not getting it.
Share.
After that, we went to Ardbeg for what they called deconstructing the dram, but what they really should have called a half hour of silence
3-hour
and
tour.
2.5 hours of
tour.
Just drinking everything. They had.
Oh my gosh, he just kept giving us whiskey. I mean, to the point where I had to stop.
Yeah.
Like, Chuck kept going.
Then I was somewhat drunk, and Amy had stopped drinking, and Amy was.
It was a long
feeling like
day.
Walking around until I sobered up to drive, even though we told the car rental company we were not going to have anybody but me drive the car. She drove the car home, and it was a very exciting and fun experience.
You're very generous. I had not, so most of the problem was, I don't know, I think it's maybe equal parts, but there were a number of problems. Number one, I had not driven this car before at all. And so,
or in fact, any car that has a stick shift on the left-hand side. Right.
Well, that in and of itself was less of a problem than I expected. Because I expected that to be like, kind of like when you try and write with your non-dominant hand and you end up inadvertently writing backwards. I thought that I would shift backwards, but I didn't. So that was all right. But when you first drive a new car, you have to get used to like how sensitive the gas and the brakes are, and like
the brakes on this car.
The brakes on this car are very sensitive.
They're enthusiastic. I think.
I threw Chuck up against the like this a number of times because I was like, and that was also a little bit of panic on my part. I think probably
could be.
But because again, riding on the other side of the car, the other side of the road, and it wasn't a single track road. But it was a tiny.
There were single track sections of it.
Yeah, it was actually smaller than this road. The sheep. There were literally sheep in the middle of the road. At one point, there was a little tiny stone bridge that was single track, and so I had to like stop and let other cars go by. And I was white knuckled and like every time a car came.
Or a bus. I seem to recall
there were
that
buses and big lorries and stuff.
I seem to recall that there was a bus that particularly inspired fear.
Yeah. So.
But I was drunk at the time. I'm sure there was nothing.
It was harrowing, but I got us back to the guest house and handed him the keys and never again.
Andrew had some very good advice about how to get up without peeling out the way up into the...
Yeah, he said not to stop in the middle of the driveway, which that wasn't really my fault.
So it was all pretty entertaining. We went out to dinner again, not as impressive. They did not have sticky toffee pudding for dessert, so we picked some up at the co-op and got Allison to microwave it. She'd had a bad day, but she was still happy to microwave it.
And it was surprisingly good for a store-bought dessert thing.
Yeah, unbelievably good for a store-bought dessert.
Yeah.
And then we got up early the next day, and we drove all day. We took the 7 o'clock ferry, which meant that we got up at 5 and scooted out of the house before 6 with our little bagged breakfast that Andrew left us.
Yeah.
And
that was very nice.
we got to the ferry and we got on the ferry, and sadly it was not quite as opulent as the first one that we rode, probably because there are only a dozen people that are foolish enough to get up at 5 o'clock in the frickin' morning to get on a ferry.
And it was raining.
On the way out, I did get out with the camera, stay at a lower deck so it didn't get too much rain on it, and get pictures of Port Ellen, Lefroy, Lagavulin, and Ardbeg from the ocean on the way out, most of which will look like pictures of the Loch Ness Monster because of how gray it was and everything. You may not be able to see anything, but I did it because I felt I should. And then I met up with Amy, we hit land a little after 9 and just started heading north to Skye. And it was 5.
Excuse me for continuing to yawn. I'm
5 hours or so, a little bit more on the drive up. We stopped in Fort William and had some lunch. That was actually surprisingly good. We kind of stopped to grab, a burger and a sandwich at a pub. It was really good.
The burger. I had a black and blue burger.
Yeah.
Blue for blue cheese. And you should be able to see we're going over Skye Bridge now, which is very, very cool. It is really, you can see like all the water and the, the mountains and everything. on the water. It's really, really cool.
Yes, we got up to Skye and got to Portree and into the hotel, where Hugh, who sounds exactly like Elrond in the films, showed us his...
He's very soft-spoken and very posh. Very posh. Very, very friendly, but very posh.
Yeah, he grew up in the house that we stay in. It's a very, very big place. You'll see pictures.
It was like the house from the Secret Garden.
He must have gone to school in Eton or something, because he's very, very BBC. But he walked us around and showed us where the laundry was, and we were so excited about that because it meant that we could wash our socks and panties.
Yes, they had a coin laundry, and so we had to go to the co-op and buy some detergent so that we'd have change.
And Jaffa cakes.
And Jaffa cakes, yeah, because we were out of Jaffa cakes, so that's why we have a brand new box.
So we did that, and then we got our laundry going and went down to the sitting room where you are expected to go and wait and possibly get a bottle of wine.
Well, I'd say you are welcome to go. Yes. I don't think you're expected, but it's, you know.
And then when dinner is ready, which in this case was around 7:30, one of the gentlemen will walk out and bang the gong to announce dinner is ready.
And he means that literally. There's a gong. It's a huge, and it's not like a little handheld, you know, ding, tinny sounding cymbal or anything either. It is, you know, huge mounted, you know, oak, you know, thick metal thing with a round, and like the thing you use to bang it with is like it looks like a drum itself. Yeah. You know, it's a big round thing. So it makes a very sound. It's very not unmistakable.
Yeah, the next day we got up and sort of made loose plans that we really stuck to. That was good. We got up, we had breakfast, scrambled eggs, almost as good as mine, but not quite. Thank you, Hugh. And then Amy worked out outside, and I got some really cool photos of her, like a warrior pose and stuff, out on the grounds, as well as some just really lovely pictures of the grounds themselves.
Kind of horrifying that I've been working out long enough to where I feel stronger and I feel like I should be thinner, but then I see pictures and I'm like, nope, still chubby.
Oh, you look lovely. And then we went to showered first, of course, and then we went to Dunvegan Castle, where we saw the gardens, and then went on a very little teensy boat trip and saw lots of seals very closely. Again, great pictures. We also toured the castle.
Yeah, and the castle was quite fun and interesting. Like they had a little game where they hid keys all over
the place. Yes.
And you know, they told all the children about it, and it was funny because there was a little family going in right before us, and they said, "Oh, there's a little game that the children can play where they can find all the keys." And I said to Chuck, I was like, "I never played a game."
And we did, but
we failed at it clearly because I had found like 3 of the keys, and we got into one room, and the lady told the kid there that there were 14, and I was like, "Okay, I haven't found nearly that many." Yeah. So I clearly was not, you know, paying that close attention. But I felt like the descriptions that they give everything, they weren't dry and museum-y. They had some good flavor to them. It was fun.
Yes. Well, so that was really fun. And then we went to Skye and went shopping. And it's not exactly accurate to say this, but what it was like was we went shopping, grabbed a quick lunch again, and then we went to Skye Boutiques, and then we went shopping, and then we went to Skye Boutiques, and then we left and went back to the hotel and had another lovely dinner that couldn't be beat.
I knew you were going to go there.
And then we got up in the morning and we went back to Skye Boutiques. We just kept going back. The place is so much fun.
That's where I got this hat.
Amy got that wonderful hat, and look how cute she looks in it. Isn't she adorable? And I got the loudest possible black and white shirt that exists on the planet, I'm sure.
It's awesome though. I love that shirt. Shirt's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it too. And you'll see me in it, I'm sure, frequently.
When we
also, some pants that you probably won't see me in because they'll be lounge pants, and
we bought those when we went back the second time because he was like, he said, look at the lizards on those pants, and they were in the window. And I said, yeah, those are the ones that you held up. And he was like, no, what? He didn't remember there being lizards on the pants that he jokingly held up in the shop.
Yes.
And I said, yeah. And then he was like, oh, there were? And I said, do you need the pants? And he stood there for a second, and then he was like, no. But then he needed the pants. So we went back, and I bought him the pants.
Here's the thing. Batik is very unique, you know. You can't do the exact same pattern twice. There's just no way to do it. You can come close. And I get out to this place, as I mentioned, once on average every 7 or 8 years. So it's not like, you know, if I see something that I like quite a bit, that I shouldn't just go ahead and bite the bullet and get it. So we did that with a lot of things.
So, yeah. And then we went back and went shopping at Skye Boutiques again. Because Nana wanted my hat. So we got her a similar hat. There wasn't one exactly like it. Hers is green. Although I guess I'll probably give her the choice.
Yeah.
If she wants the blue one, she can have the blue one. I'll take the green one.
Yes.
That's fine.
So there we go. That was it. That was our little sort of
recap
review
of
interview.
The first third of the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening. If you actually did, you're crazy. And we'll catch you later. I'm reaching forward to shut.